Here's a typical scenario. I was recording a presentation, a live presentation, in which I just rolled the camera in and I had a shotgun microphone attached to the camera. I wasn't recording any system audio. And when you play this, you can hear that I got a pretty low level on this. And it's kind of typical of this kind of scenario.
Good afternoon and welcome. I am Lisa Scott.
It's over here at minus 27.
Success and your host.
So what I could do is I could put my cursor here between the tracks. The track I'm listening to is the main track, and I can stretch the timeline for that larger. And right here is an adjustment that I can raise the level. I can raise it, but in Premiere I can only go to 6.02 decibels of increase. Let's play that and see what that does.
For this afternoon. Thank you so much
So
for
now I
joining
get
us
to
on this
about
special day to celebrate the dedication
16 or
of the
so.
AE.
I'm going to put it back to 0 just so we can compare a little bit later. So what I usually do with this, come on 0, where are you there? That's close enough. I'll put this back where it is. So what I normally do is I'll take the cursor and I'll select the home, and I'll mark an endpoint at the beginning of my sequence, and I'll mark an endpoint at the outpoint of my sequence. And then what I'll do is mute the channels that I'm not using, and I will export my edited master as an audio file. Export media, and then usually I'll select an AIFF, which is the audio file for Mac, or waveform audio, which is the audio form for Windows. And they both work on both systems. And I export the video, or the audio. And usually what I call it is something like this. I'll call it, let me find where I did it, I'll show you what I called it. So I will call this edited master, and then I use the underline sent, S-E-N-T. This means that I sent this file to another location for editing. Now that the program's been exported, I opened it up in Audition. This is Audition, and I have selected the default workspace. And there's several different workspaces here, but I've selected the default. So here is the name of my program, edited master _ sent. And when I recorded this, I had a shotgun microphone plugged in, but I recorded a stereo track, so I only got audio on the right channel. So the first thing I'll do is I'll click on this. I'm hitting the control click, and I'm going to extract the channels to mono files. So this makes it a mono file instead of a stereo. And there's my audio track. Now if I listen to this, we'll see that the audio is still pretty low.
Good afternoon and welcome. I am Lisa Scott.
It's at around minus 24 dB down here.
And your host for this afternoon.
I want this at about 12. Now what can I do with this? Well, there's several different effects I can use. I can process it here. Here's a thing called the effects rack. Some of the favorite ones I like are DS and limit female, DS and limit male voiceover. There's also a, let me find the other one I'll use. Oh, here it is. Clean up and level voiceover. I can use this, and I can use these two. Now the problem is this particular audio has a lot of room noise in it, a lot of ambient sound, and in this case, the only thing I really can do with this satisfactorily is raise the volume of the piece. So I'm gonna make it small so I can see. I can see the whole track. Here's my whole track. Right here in the top right is a little controller that lets me adjust the decibels. I'm going to hit Control A to select all, so it's turned white. And now what I can do is I can just simply raise the level. But now, because I'm using Audition, I can go much higher. That just was a 6.6. This is as high as I can raise this level in Premiere. But in Audition, I can keep raising this up until I get it. So the waveforms here of the audio are pretty high. You can see I've got them up here near the top. Let me play this and see how this sounds.
Good afternoon and welcome. I am Lisa Scott, Vice President for Student Engagement Success.
I'm even going to go just a little bit more. I'm going to boost this up a little bit. And as I get to the top, what's happening is these are places where people were applauding, and those get cut off. And that's okay because it's not, if the applause gets clipped a little bit, I'm okay with that. Let me play this again and see how this sounds.
And your host for this afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us on this special day to
So now I've
celebrate the
got
dedication.
got an audio level that's closer to minus 12 dB, and I can live with this. I really like this here. So what I'll do is I will save this as, I'll browse to my correct location, and I will save this as a new name called edited master underscore processed. Okay, so that I know that the one that was the original is the one that was sent, and when I'm finished with this, I can send this out as a processed version. So I've already done that, so I'm not going to do it right now. So I save it as a processed version. Now let me go back to Premiere and show you what I did. So then in Premiere, I import the file here. I'll go to the beginning of the clip, and I open the clip in the window, and I simply drag it down to the beginning of my timeline. And since I exported the entire composition, I know this is going to match. So now what I can do is I can mute the original audio. I'm not going to change the original audio because I'm going to leave it on the track in case I need to go back to it. And I'm going to unmute the new audio that I've put in, and here is the new audio that's been completely fixed at a nice level.
Good afternoon and welcome. I am Lisa Scott, Vice President for Student.
So that's how I can correct an audio where the level is bad.